Happy Thursday as we embark on a new race week here in Hot Springs at beautiful Oaklawn Park. I'm Nancy Holthus, joining alongside track announcer Matt Dinnerman. Matt, you had a few good days off, but a few busy days as well.
Yeah, we're getting ready for Rebel Week, so we had to do some work along with our days off and getting ready for the excitement that is surely to be here all week long. Really, the buzz is in the air, as it always is.
Yeah.
What did you do this weekend?
You know what? Paul took me shopping for a Rebel dress in Little Rock.
That's important.
And went and had a lovely lunch in the promenade. And Tuesday, I just kind of vegged, got some errands done, because I knew yesterday, I think I got probably 12 hours of work done in 8. Because, because I'm only downstairs in my other office one day a week now. So it's always, do a lot, get caught up on everything. But it's good to feel productive,
For sure.
And you had a new edition of Out of the Starting Gate as well.
We did, yeah. Jose Santos Jr., a jockey agent it's a rare sort of business model because he represents about 10 different riders.
Jockey agent extraordinaire, as I like to call him.
No, it's hard enough to have one jockey, never mind 10 of them. So we had a great show, Out of the Starting Gate. Make sure to check that out on YouTube. We do it each and every week. Are Out of the Starting Gate with special guests, and we talked about the whole Rebel field, most of the contenders in the Honeybee, a bunch of maiden allowance races. We really got down to business with a lot of good content for this Rebel Week, and of course went over last week's big races, including our Archiebreds getting to shine last week.
Yeah, that was a really good race, and super excited to see Holland Ice will be coming back in the Matron Stakes.
Yes.
So a lot to look forward to. Real quickly, let's take a look at our weather page, as it is very nice outside. It looks like we're going to have a beautiful week throughout. We do have a fast track, partly sunny skies, 62 degrees, and winds out of the north at 5 miles per hour. And as we do have a 4-day race week, we know that Thursdays means discount days. That is free programs, free parking, and $1 delicious hot dogs. So make sure you visit some of our vendors and try one of those delicious hot dogs today for only $1. How about this? Ramon Vasquez pilots his 500th Oaklawn win. He is on top of the standings currently. It's a neck-and-neck battle, and for his victories, he was unanimously voted Jockey's Guild Jockey of the Week. So he had 5 wins in one day to kind of catapult him to the top. So yeah, 2 out of the 3 weeks, the Jockey's Guild Jockey of the Week has been Oaklawn-based. Christian Torres first, and now Ramon Vasquez. We do have a Classics carryover of $14,967, and my favorite day is Saturday. We'll start the Rebel Weekend with Dawn at Oaklawn, and I have grade 1 guests. I'm continuing your grade 1 guest. I'm keeping my grade 1 status. I will be joined by future Hall of Famer, I can feel confident in saying that, Kenny McPeak, and also social influencer Griffin Johnson. Very excited to have both of those gentlemen. And we see Sandman is going to return in the Grade 3 Razorback Handicap and Rebel Sunday. Doors will open at 10:30 with a noon first post. So make your plans to get here early. We have 12 races, including the Grade 3 Honeybee and the Grade 2 Rebel. So lots going on, and make sure you swipe for Rebel Riches all weekend long. That will be Sunday, and on Sunday you get 5-time entries. So a lot going on, a lot of moving parts, and make sure when you do get the program you kind of look through, because we have a lot of future promotions in there as well. First Responders Day is next Friday. Always love having our first responders out, but it is going to be absolutely beautiful, and the infield is going to be open. In my memory, which is not great anyway, I think this is the earliest we've ever been able to fully open the infield. So super excited. 80 degrees? Is it Saturday?
Is it supposed to be that hot?
It's supposed to be high 70s on Saturday, and cool off a little bit on Sunday, but super excited. I've done several radio shows, calling in, talking about our product and our stakes races. And one of the most memorable honeybees for me was Lemon Muffin.
Yes.
For Wayne Lucas. She broke her maiden in the Grade 3 Honeybee, Keith Asmussen in the irons, and I will never forget this. I was standing at the we call it the tunnel where horses get onto the walkway to go onto the track with Wayne during post parade, and I said, Wayne, I said, you feel pretty confident about running a maiden in this race? He said, yeah, Pat Pope called me and wanted me to scratch and go in a maiden race, but I'm going to win this one. And sure enough, went off as a long shot, and very happy to see the coach in the winner's circle. So super excited for a stellar weekend. And I just saw some horses going by. Right now they are having infield schooling for the graded stakes. As you know, for our graded stakes, the Razorback Saturday, the Honeybee and Rebel on Sunday, we will be saddling indoors in our paddock, and then they will make their way over to the infield where they will meet their connections and get riders up. So I love this weekend.
It's going to be a great weekend. Rebel Week, always one of the more fun weeks of the whole season here at Oaklawn, and always a good card. I was handicapping it yesterday. I wanted to get a lot of the prep work done early for me, but just very competitive races I've noticed. There's a few races there on the program, especially on the undercard. I mean, the Rebel's competitive, and so is the Honeybee. Very good race. But some of the allowances, maiden race, you get some very competitive races on Rebel Day. So it's a good betting opportunity for the horse players. It's a great fanfare activity for the folks here on track. We're expecting, I don't know what the ticket sales look like, but I'd imagine they'd be pretty busy in the ticket offices.
We've got a packed house both days. So
Saturday as well.
Saturday as well. So yeah, make sure you plan on getting here early, because we know Central Avenue backs up.
Yes.
As does Higdon. So make sure to get here early. And one thing I like about these weekends, Matt, we get a lot of big names coming in that we don't normally get to see all meet long. So these big weekends are kind of like a reunion as well. We've got a lot of the top riders coming in, the top trainers, and the top horses. So really excited for this one.
It'll be a real fun weekend, and we're pacing ourselves, Nancy. It's a long week for us, but this is what we live for. It's a fun week.
Yeah, this is why we do it. We do have 9 races on the Thursday program, so let's get started as we kick things off with 4-year-olds and up, non-winners of 3 or non-winners of a race since September 26th. This is a 12-5 claimer going 6 furlongs, and Matt, we open up with a field of 8.
We do here, and I'm going to take well, I was going to pick a price at 10-1 on the morning line. He's 5-2 right now. Go favorite. Can you believe that?
It's still early. Somebody might have put 20 across.
Yeah, maybe so. There you go. Maybe somebody saw our picks here. But did not run well last time off a 2-month freshening. But this horse had been running against Allowance Company at Thistledown in for 12-5. First off the claim for Michael Hewitt. Kim Pole trained, and what I noticed about Kim is his horses really are doing better second and third start off any sort of layoff whatsoever this meet. This horse draws outside, has speed. I know it's 0 for 13 here at Oaklawn, but it's hit the board many times. I'm going to pick this horse. I just think this horse here, with all this in mind, he's going to get a good trip. Has been running against a lot tougher in Ohio. Maybe not Allowance Company that we'd find here, but Allowance Company there is good enough to win for 12-5 here. So I'm going to take a shot with this horse here. 5-2, very much an underlay on the board right now. That could change, as you mentioned, Nancy, but I'm going to... Hey, I thought I was going with a price, but people see what I do, I guess.
You got a lot of time for that to drift up, too.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm going to look to the number 6, Boat Song, coming from the barn of Mac Robertson. We've seen Jockey Seraphin Carmona make more and more trips to the winner's circle here. Does give up recency, coming off a 138-day layoff. Is going to drop back in for the tag after facing allowance runners at Delaware last year. I like that his last win was here. It's almost a year to the day. February 28th was his last trip to the winner's circle right here, and that's when he scored against non-3 for 15. He's run pretty well off a similar type of layoff kind of throughout his career. So I'm going to look to the number 6, Boat Song, for my pick in race number 1. The second race, it's going to be interesting as many exit the same last out to a next out winner, and that winner coming back against Ratings Handicap. Race 2 is for fillies and mares 4 and up, non-winners of a race since August 20th, $32,000 claimer, and they will contest 6 furlongs in distance. And as you can see, we've got a field of 7 set to go to the post.
Yes, we do. And Edith Strudis, a back class horse, is my pick in here. Off a third place finish in a good starter allowance race, in for $32,000 today. This runner has finished behind a couple runners that she runs against. 2 starts ago, she finished behind a couple that are in today, but that was not her best race. And I think last time out, she trended in the right direction against a little bit of a tougher group. So I don't have a hugely strong opinion in this race. I do agree with the morning line. When you look at the odds board, it's very competitive. I'd have a tough time trying to predict the favorite in this race because I think you could make a case with 7 horses in here. I think there's probably 6 of them that have a really strong chance in this race. So Edith Strudis is the pick with Luis Saez. I think it's horse racing. Jockeys can make a difference, but you still got to have the horse for it. That said, when you get a good jockey like Luis Saez, it's never a negative thing.
Agreed. I'm going to look to the number 5, Windy Bay, coming from the barn of trainer Chris Hartman. Francisco Arrieta taking the mount. Now, she's been extremely competitive and exits a group of open $30,000 runners. Sat back, contested some really early fractions. She ran 6th, but if you look closer, she was only beaten just over 3 lengths for the win to Miss Arlington. That runner came back to win a ratings handicap race. She is going to get a little bit of class relief and also races 3rd off the claim, where the Hartman barn is a very impressive 18%.
Wow.
So Windy Bay, the number 5, is going to be my top selection here in race number 2. Race number 3, I love this group of 3-year-olds, Matt. We've always talked about how competitive starter allowances are, and that is certainly the case here. Starter allowance at the $50,000 level, or optional claiming of $62,500, and they'll go 1 mile and a 16th in distance. A really good race. I watched several replays out of this one, and you only had to watch one replay because the top 3 came out of the. I think the top 3 exit that same last out.
And you mentioned how competitive it was. They were separated by a neck, all 3 of them. So. There's little margin for error, it appears, if they all sort of show up with their best. Somebody's going to win the race, but it's not going to be by a runaway, that's for sure. And I picked Misinformation. I think everybody under the sun thought that Misinformation had won that photo finish last time out. And when it popped up, that Horse of the Sea had won, there was a big surprise, and Jose Ortiz was aboard that day for Mark Cassian. I remember he sort of looked at the board when the photo came up, and he looked at Mark Cassidy, who was here, and they sort of went like that, like, we didn't win the race? Because I thought they won the race, too. I didn't call it,
close.
Luckily. It was very close. This horse, 2 starts ago, stocked the pace. Last time there was not a lot of pace. They went to the lead, got pressure, just kept digging in, and just lost the bob there. But that 2-back effort where it was second to Bricklin in an allowance, and Bricklin came back to run 3rd in the Sunland Derby, not bad. I think this horse is a little more versatile and maybe wants that target to run at. I think he might be a little faster doing that. But there wasn't a lot of pace in that last race, so he took the initiative. I think he's going to stock the pace today, and I think he can get a little bit better with that target ahead of him. So he's the pick. He's the one to beat. But I agree, Nancy. He's going to have to run his A game to beat this field today.
Well, we have seen Christian Torres and Mark Cassidy produce a very high win percentage when teaming up. I love this horse, and I love that race that he does exit. Came in barreling to the wire, and 5 other runners in the field all coming close. It was a very tightly run race. Horse of the Sea, and Highly Connected all going to the wire, and as Matt alluded to, just nosed out for that win. And just when watching the replay, I still went, oh, just because you just get that energy watching such an amazing field. It will be interesting, though, as Mark Cassidy also sends out the outside starter, the number 9 Western Warrior, who broke his maiden, showing a lot of speed at the distance last out. Matt, I see you've got him second on your choice, but certainly Misinformation is hoping to get the nod today. It's a really impressive group.
This is a good group, and whoever wins this race, I would imagine if there's a first level allowance down the road, then they'd probably show up to it. Not quite good enough to run against our best 3-year-olds. Probably quite a few slower, but it's still a good group, and these geldings and colts, they're sort of horses that are looking to trend upward here.
Race number 4 kicks off our Classics Pick 6. That's a $1 wager with a carryover of over $14,000. This is for fillies and mares, 3 and up, non-winners of 2, $32,000 is the claim price, and they will contest a 1 1/16 in distance.
Yeah, and I picked Thea in here in a class drop. Needs the drop here. Ran fourth in an allowance race and was 58 to 1 that day. So she wasn't projected to win or even hit the board that day from the betting public anyway, and ran fourth with a good stocking trip, no excuses. But I like the drop here that Chase Stewart's taking with this horse. I think in for 32-9 too. This is the right spot for a runner like this. They've tried the allowance waters, a little bit too deep. Now they're going a little bit more of the shallow end of the pool here, and I think that's really going to help. The key here is the class drop for me.
Well, I'm on Thea as well, but I think it's really interesting. She began her career on the turf out on the West Coast. You actually probably called her in her debut.
I did.
And it's so ironic to me, Matt, that this meet in particular, we're seeing more and more horses that have turf on their back class, which is really interesting.
Yeah,
you almost don't need to be a one-trick pony, just turf, just dirt. But it's interesting that we're seeing a lot of those California turf horses come here and actually have some success.
Yeah, they have, and I'm not really sure if they think this track, maybe for whatever reason, turf horses can run on it. There are certain dirt tracks that can transfer a little better than other dirt tracks. I wouldn't be able to tell you all of those off the top of my head, but I also think that when it comes to California, they like running on the turf there.
Yes.
The way they train, the competition with Bob Baffert and Mark Glad and John Sadler, it gets really tough.
Yeah.
And sometimes horses that aren't good enough to run against those monster barns, they run them on the turf, not because they can't run on the dirt, but because they go to the turf and it's a little bit of an easier group, so to speak. Then they come here. You don't have to go up against Bob Baffert here, and at least most of the time. And because of that, you can go on the dirt here, and they say, hey, we can run on the dirt. We just don't want to run against these horses on the dirt over there. So especially with the California horses, like you said, I think sometimes you can get a little bit of cause for pause when it comes to looking at the turf and going, does this horse really want to run here at Oaklawn? This horse is a turf horse, and we've seen them do really well here.
Well, and talking back about Thea, despite really big odds in her last 3 races, she really has shown up, and her numbers are certainly trending the right way, the right way to the winner's circle, I think, today, as especially with that drop in class. We're going to take a quick break on this Thursday edition of Oaklawn Today, and when we come back, we'll chat race number 5.
Experience the excitement of horse racing with Oaklawn Anywhere. If you're an Arkansas resident, you can watch and wager on horse racing from around the globe, whether you're at home or on the go, with any smartphone, laptop, or tablet, anytime, anywhere. Download the free Oaklawn Anywhere app and register for a sign-up bonus. With access to past performances, live video, race replays, and expert handicapping data, you're always in the know with no subscription fees. Bet online anytime with Oaklawn Anywhere, exclusively available to Arkansans. Right, Max? Oaklawn Anywhere. Our season never ends. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. Rebel Stakes Day means big money on the track. And now, big money for you too. Swipe your ID on live race days to earn entries for our Rebel Riches drawing. On Thursdays, Fridays, and Sundays, you'll score double entries. And on Saturdays, a single entry. But on Rebel Stakes Day, Sunday, March 1st, your swipe earns 5 times the entries, putting you closer to the cash than ever before. Throughout the day, 25 winners will take home their share of $10,000. After races 2 through 6, 5 winners will be awarded prizes ranging from $200 to $600 each. From the track to your pocket, Rebel Stakes Day just got richer.
there you saw a look at our current leaders. Ramon Vasquez leading our jockeys and Steve Asmussen leading not only the trainer division, but the owner division as well, which he tied for last season. So Papa Steve comes loaded for bear every season.
He makes claims at levels where it's like, you got 400 horses and you want this horse? This is pretty unbelievable.
And he claims so much for himself.
Yeah, he does.
That's amazing.
And he gets
Absolutely
a thrill
amazing.
out of putting his sons on those horses and watching them win, I'm sure. But any parent would if they were in that position.
That's got to be sheer joy to see your kids succeed.
I've said it before, so if you watch this regularly, you've heard this spiel. I respect trainers like Steve that have large stables and care about every race, because every race matters to somebody.
Yeah.
Look, I'm not going to name names. There are some trainers, they really gear towards stakes horses, and once they have an allowance horse, they're like, it is what it is. We'll put him in. We'll see what happens.
Right.
Steve will win a Grade 1, and if 10 minutes later in Texas he loses a $5,000 claimer, he's going to be like, why did we lose this race?
Yeah.
And I respect that, because every race matters, and if I'm an owner, I want to give a horse to a trainer like that.
And you know what's amazing? As you mentioned, whether it's a $5,000 claimer or a graded stakes winner, they all look amazing.
Yes, they do.
They all dabble out. They all have shiny coats. They just look fit and just
If
solid.
they're on the track, they're ready. And that includes physically ready.
Yep.
And you know how it is. If a horse isn't feeling 100%, if a human isn't feeling 100%, we're not going to look like we do if we are feeling mighty and good. So
that right there.
If you see Steve's horses, you can see just by their physicality and their coat, they're feeling good.
Yeah.
They are fit and healthy enough to compete, and hopefully compete competitively.
Let's take a look at race number 5. This is for Arkansas bred maiden claiming 12,500 3-year-olds and up, going 6 furlongs. This does start the first leg of the late pick 5. And Matt, it's interesting because the field, as we sometimes see, exit double-digit losses. So kind of a wide open array. And I will go ahead and say this is the only time in history, maybe not even Oaklawn, in thoroughbred history, where a horse last out was 185 to 1 and comes back as even money.
Yeah, I've never seen that in my life. Probably never will again. I don't even know how positively to spin this. I mean, that is just unbelievable. Unbelievable. That tells you what a class drop this horse is getting.
And the group that he's running against, but nonetheless, this might be somebody's big horse in today.
Absolutely.
You know,
you've got Greg Burchell, who's the trainer. He's 0 for 5 this year. Last year. So he's got a very small stable. I think this might be his only horse, actually, because there's 5 starts on the page last year, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
He's found a condition that this horse can be competitive in, and comes out of a 2 next out winner race. Now, he lost by 9 that day.
Right.
If you can lose by 9 for maiden open 35 off a layoff, come back for state bred maiden 12-5. I mean, if this horse runs to his speed figures, he probably wins this race.
Exactly.
So that would be fantastic. And like you said, Greg's only horse, he'll be over the moon if this horse can get to the winner's circle.
Sure.
And we talk about it, Nancy. Half the battle is putting your horse in the right spot. And this horse is well spotted to run a good race against this field.
Yeah.
So I think a well-done job by Greg to find this spot and say, we need to get this horse in a spot where he can win.
I tried my darndest to look elsewhere, but just kept landing on the number 9 Big Rig Dude. Like the fact that Luis Saez does get in the irons, and in regard to numbers, has posted the best numbers in this group and makes career start number 7 today. So we'll see what he does go off at.
I like the name, too.
Yeah, very cool name. Race number 6 as we move forward. This is an extremely competitive group. Very excited for these fillies and mares 4 and up. A first level allowance set to go 1 mile and a 16th in distance. So some real standouts here. We did have a scratch of the number 2 at a gate, but you've got a field of 8 very, very talented fillies and mares.
First level allowance foes, and Floating Beauty's my pick in here, Nancy. Off a runner-up finish to Gal's Delight. We're going to see her tomorrow in a stake. And Floating Beauty was well off the pace last time, broke from the 12 hole in a field of 12, going 1 mile and a 16th, which is not an easy spot to be, but got over. Christian did a good job, Christian Torres, who's back aboard, to get this horse to save a little bit of ground at some point in the race. And she rallied for second. I thought it was a good effort. And I think this field that she finds here, there are no Gal Gal's Delight's in this race.
Exactly.
I think Gal's Delight is a decent allowance type of horse, and we'll see. Maybe she's going to be a stakes horse, and she'll show that tomorrow. But this gal does not need to be as far back as she was, but the pace was really fast. And like I said, I think Christian did a good job. Just let this filly get in a good rhythm and run on into that fast pace. Probably not going to be as fast this time around, the pace scenario, but she doesn't need to be that far back. So I really like her. She's been very consistent as of late for trainer Lonnie Briley. Ever since taking a break in September and coming back in the fall after a couple months, she's been very consistent.
Yeah, time does a horse well. As he meant, she's been very consistent. She's posted 3 runner-up finishes and a pair of wins in those last 5 starts. And as Matt mentioned, the far outside 12 of 12. She does get a more ground-saving pace today, or ground-saving spot in the starting gate today, and finished at 1 placing last go in front of Vino Tiempo and 2 lengths behind Gal's Delight. Matt mentioned future stakes contender, and we'll see Gal's Delight in tomorrow's Trivista Overnight Stakes.
Yes, we will. So she's going to draw the outside, going up against the big mare Nerazzurri, at least in that race.
That's going to be a good one.
Coming off a runner-up finish to Nitrogen. And speaking of a good one, Nancy, they're starting to get probables for the Azeri next week. We've got Nitrogen, we've got Lacara, Perfect Shot, who won the Sam Houston Ladies Classic, Standout Sensation, who of course won a stake here earlier in the meet, and there's one other filly.
Quiet Side pointing towards the
Quiet
Azeri?
Side
Quiet
is as
Side.
well. That's her. So we've got 5 already, and those are big names.
And again, the Azeri, the final prep for the Grade 1 Apple Blossom, which now is a win and you're in for the Breeders' Cup Distaff. So we might get that race always gets heavy hitters, but even this year we might see the cream of the crop.
I know that Claret Beret, who used to be here at Oaklawn at one point for Greg Compton, is now in Saffie Joseph's barn over in Florida. She's pointing for that. Obviously, Lacara and Nitrogen, you would imagine they'd be pointing for that. The filly's running in the Azeri. So you're probably going to get a Bob Baffert filly that if she's good enough to route, she'll be out here. So it's going to be a star-studded cast come April.
Yeah, super excited for that one. But first, let's talk race number 7. This is 3-year-old fillies, maiden allowance condition, and they're going to sprint 6 furlongs in distance. In the field of 7, we did have my top pick scratched out of here, the number 6, My Guns Loaded. So we now have a field of 6.
It'll be interesting where she shows up next if we see her anytime soon, because I always thought My Guns Loaded would like routing just the way she's working.
Okay.
And, she actually was working pretty well, better than she was before her first race leading up to this. So I was interested to see how she did, Nancy, but not today, I suppose. I'm going to pick Black Magic River in here. She's the favorite, I understand, but first time out, she finished 4th in a key race. French Friction, who won the race, I think she could be as good of a 3-year-old filly as any filly in the country. I really do. She showed just a phenomenal amount of ability. And Take Charge Macy, who ran 3rd, came back to win, going 2 turns in a main special weight. We're going to see her in the Honeybee. Then Black Magic River, second out for the Hartman barn. Chris Hartman has always had better numbers second time out, and this filly just went too fast last time. She got the lead. She sort of ran off. They went 21-3, 45-3, and Tyler Bacon, who was aboard that day, he just sort of let her run off and get in a rhythm, and she got tired. But to be honest, I thought that she just went too fast. And now with Louise Saez aboard, we know she has speed. Hopefully she can ration that speed a little bit better this time around. And if she does, I think she's going to have a lot more finish.
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting group. You can almost make an assessment for each individual filly. I'm going to look to the number 4, Helene's Power. Danny Pish actually has 2 in here. He also sends out the first-time starter, the number 1, Breens. But Helene's Power just missed last out here, facing similar earlier in the month when coming off like 7 or 8 months on the shelf. She stalked some very quick fractions and was closing late. She ran second, beaten a neck at 26-1. Obviously not going to get that today, but I like how she has been consistent in a very brief career in the money all 3 starts. So I'm going to see if I can get Danny Pish to the winner's circle in race number 7. A really good group of 3-year-old fillies in race number 8. This is the first leg of the $5 late double. Might actually see one of these later in the fantasy. This is a first level allowance optional claiming $150,000 set to contest a mile and a 16th.
I would agree with you, whether it be the fantasy or some stake down the road. Whoever wins this, there aren't second-level allowance races for 3-year-old fillies at this time of the year. So we're going to see one of these, whoever wins, if not maybe multiple, if one of them runs really well and doesn't win, in a stake next time, possibly the Honeybee. Sticker Shock, she's the one to beat, Nancy, but you and I have the same exacta here. We're going to both try to beat Sticker Shock.
I love that name, Sticker Shock.
I like the name,
I think
too.
that's hysterical.
The West family, they have some cool names that they name their horses. And this runner, look who she beat when she broke her maiden in November, Search Party, the Martha Washington winner, who we're going to see in the Honeybee on Sunday. But Scott's Law, last time in the year's end as a 2-year-old filly, she's making her 3-year-old debut today, freshens up 2 months. She stumbled to her knees at the start. She wasn't going to win. Counting Stars ran a big race. Newtown Pike, who ran second, came back to run second in the Martha Washington behind Search Party. But Scott's Law still had every chance to just sort of spit the bit. And she ran on. Go to YouTube, out of the starting gate, my clocker pick of the week.
Oh, nice.
She has a workout, Scott's Law. She looked really good in this workout and galloped out big. I thought her work was very, very good leading up to this. I do think Sticker Shock's the one to beat. If she's game as she was at Churchill Downs and she's fit enough for Brad Cox, which she should for that outfit, she'll probably be pretty tough, but I figure Scott's Law will be a little bit of a better price, and I love that workout, and she does exit stakes company.
It was a very good article accommodating these past performances from DRF writer Mary Rampolini, and I liked how she talked to Johnny Ortiz, the conditioner of Scott's Law, and he said they're really focusing not just on her physical game, but her mental game as well. With these young fillies especially, that's really critical and important. She got a little worked up in the paddock last time, and they're trying to conserve that energy for the race. So they've been schooling her every week to kind of let her get more acclimated. You know, our paddock is very different. You know, we're completely enclosed. The fans are above kind of the horses, and it is a different environment. And you will see, because it can get kind of loud in there, you will see trainers put cotton or sponges in their horses' ears to kind of keep that noise out. But I really want to say it is critical that these horses do, just like us, have good mental health, because one bad experience can be detrimental. So you sometimes see horses maybe run their race in the paddock or out in the post parade way before they even get to the starting gate. But I like that they're looking to kind of keep her calm and help that energy out on the track. And she's also very well bred. She is a half sister to a dual Grade 1 winner in Scottish Lassie.
Yeah, so pedigree, obviously, especially with the fillies and bears. When they have good pedigrees, it's important to get a stakes placing for her, because down the line, when she passes her racing career into the mommy career of broodmare status, then you're worth a little more. Two things, Nancy, to note that you were mentioning. One, with our indoor paddock, just science alone will suggest the sound waves are going to bounce off the walls, so it's going to feel louder versus if a paddock was outside for the horses. And it's also important, Nancy, because she's a 3-year-old filly, it's like human beings. You want to teach good habits early with the horses. And if they start getting bad habits at a young age and you don't train them to correct those bad habits, they're going to stay. So the key is teaching them early on, which, by the way, Kenny McPeak did a great job with Torpedo Anna. Perfect example of a filly who would get real hot and a little nervous, and she was just real high-strung early in her career. And she was go on the track as well, and they really got her to settle down, relax her mindset, and she was a much better racehorse because of it.
And it proved, as she is was our horse of the year. So very excited. Oh, speaking of, I may wait till tomorrow because I got my Oaklawn mailer in the mail. And something that is going to be our next giveaway for our fans.
Oh. I haven't even heard this. So this is news to me.
So I got it in the mail, so I guess it's public.
I guess so. Do you want to share it now, or you want to wait till tomorrow?
No, I'll share it now. Who wants to wait till tomorrow? This year, you know, we did a Mystic Dan bobblehead, and this year we are going to do Torpedo Anna.
Oh,
so
very cool.
Very excited for that. Cool. So that'll be on Fantasy Day. So super,
and
super
I know you
stoked.
like the fillies and mares, so you're going to be grabbing that Torpedo Anna bobblehead, Nancy.
I'm a little biased, but very excited to have Kenny McPeak as one of my guests on this Saturday's Dawn at Oaklawn. He's very busy this weekend with stakes contenders, so excited to talk to him. And we'll get a little updates on the barn as well.
Yeah, and he's got a big barn, so there is no shortage of content there.
No shortage of content.
But he's got a string at Gulfstream Fairgrounds.
I don't know how some of these trainers do it. One of the keys, they have amazing assistant trainers.
You're only as good as your help.
Exactly.
But still, I mean, you got a trainer like Mark Cassie, Kenny,
Yep.
Steve, literally hundreds of horses. And these trainers not only are watching their horses in training, they're also getting updates from horses on the farm
Oh,
that
yeah.
are in layups, yearlings, babies, little weanlings. I mean, there's a lot of stock, and it just goes to show how amazing your brain is to retain all that information.
Yeah, that's not me. Our finale, race number 9, is for Arkansas bred fillies and mares, 3 years old and up, and they are in for the maiden claiming price of $12,500, set to go 6 furlongs. This one kind of fell apart, I'm not
Yeah,
going to lie.
it did fall
Scratching
apart.
numbers 1, 2, 3, 5, 10. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 out of race number 9.
You got 1/6 of a chance to pick the winner here, Nancy.
And I probably
was-
still won't.
Yeah. Sometimes in a 2-horse race, we have a hard time
Exactly.
picking the winner. I was never great at math, to be honest, in school, but I do know those basic algebra
Yes.
equations or just fractions. My picking here is Aircastle, 0 for 11, but her speed figures on here seem to trend that she's one of the major players in here. I think if Paris Accord number 9 runs her race, she'll probably win, but Paris Accord is also one that she's a little bit of an in-and-outer. Sometimes she'll throw in a clunker, and I do feel she'll be favored. I'm just picking a horse that I think will be a little bit better value. Not much, but enough to be second choice, and no strong opinion here from me, Nancy. Not a surprise, though.
Yeah, not a strong opinion for myself either, but I do feel confident that we have the superfecta.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Potentially.
I think so. I think there's a good chance.
A good
Just
chance.
box it, and that's Nancy and Matt Superfecta for you. Congratulations. A little gift for you.
Exactly. I am going to look to the Tammy Hornsby trainee. The number 8, Jack's Gal, does get the services of jockey Travis Wales. Now, she is hoping third time is a charm as she does take the plunge in for the 12-5. And that's always a few lengths closer to the winner's circle when you do get that class relief. She exits a well-beaten 4th to a dominant 10-length winner. Against Maiden 40, she did flash some early speed in that 11-horse field. Going to get an abbreviated field today, and did finish, well, in front of some others that unfortunately did scratch out of this group. So,
Which helps them because there's a few
exactly.
less horses to worry about.
Exactly. In addition to our 9 race selections, we have put together a $20 show bet bonus parlay, our long shot, and our top pick. Matt is going to start in race 3 with Misinformation. Love her today. Followed by race 4, 7, and 8. I'm going to go one earlier, kicking off with Windy Bay in race 2. Also, races 3, 5, and 8. Long shot play of the day. Matt looks to the opener with Midnight Majesty. I'm going to go one race after with the second race and the 5, Windy Bay. Top pick sponsored by Oaklawn Anywhere. Look at that, Matt. Both have race
wow.
number 6, number 5, Floating Beauty.
Okay,
So
we're really confident about this
we are
one.
very confident in the Lonnie Briley barn. Yes, we are.
In Lonnie, we trust.
I
Go
like
get
that.
it, Lonnie.
I like that. It's a fantastic day to be here. Don't forget dollar hot dogs. A lot going on this weekend. And also, one thing that I mentioned, always go through your program. Your program not only has racing information, but also all of our promotions that we are offering, and make sure you swipe for Rebel Riches. Keep getting those entries in, and on Sunday you get 5-time entries for Rebel Riches. Our infield is going to be open. You have a very good chance of seeing not only the Arkansas, but the Kentucky Derby winner and Kentucky Oaks winner out of the Honeybee. So make sure you're on the track to join us as Rebel Sunday. The first race is 12 noon. So Matt's going to head up to the roof to give you all the changes. Not many today. You're pretty much bulked for the last race.
We like to not give too many changes. That's what we were waiting for. But
the
the
goal.
last race, we'll save the most changes for last.
That's
I suppose.
typically the goal. You'll see myself and Andy Biancone in the paddock. So a great day is in store for all of our race fans. For Matt Dinnerman, I am Nancy Holthus. Thanks for joining us, and good luck and good racing.